Welcome in. It's time for another edition of Soccer Over There on the SDH Network. I'm Jason Longshore. That's John Nelson. He figured out how to change his name on the screen. It's good. He usually doesn't do that until I yell at him like I did tonight.
Yeah, like you did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, come on, standards and stuff.
I know.
You come in, you're saying you're me. You're not me, so I'm going
to No. There's only one of you. I don't think the world could handle two of you.
You don't want to be me right now because my sinuses are rebelling against me, and I'm ticked off about a lot of things tonight. So I apologize in advance. Soapboxes will be crushed. It's just one of those moments in the game, and a lot of it is the over there portion of the game. So that's what we're going to get into tonight. Picks of the week will close things down. We are not at our presenting partner, the Brewhouse Cafe, tonight because there's this little thing, college football game that's kind of a big deal. That's happening. It's not on my TV. I've got Estudiantes in the Copa Argentina on my TV.
It is our friends at Fanatis?
Yes, it is scoreless at the break between Estudiantes and Ituzaingó, who I do not know in the round of 64 in the Copa Argentina. We'll get into more Copa Argentina round of 64 action in the picks of the week. We're going to get into performative punditry because I'm irritated about and I talked about it in Morning Espresso this morning, how Manchester United has a huge win and we should be talking about the win, and instead we're talking about what podcasts are saying, and that's not cool. And it's not cool. It's disrespectful to everybody involved. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the managerial carousel that will probably claim Thomas Frank here shortly, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Oliver Glasner jumped on the carousel with both feet and is trying to rip a hobby horse off of the post at this point. We'll get into that. And I can't say I necessarily blame him.
Nope.
Lots of stuff, but we're going to talk about AFCON first, and there's a whole lot of different things to get into from this. I'm assuming that by now you guys have seen what happened yesterday. It was one of the craziest finals I've ever seen. In good ways, in terms of like crazy big moments. I mean, it was a good game outside of the other stuff that we're going to talk about. And that's what frankly kind of sucks about all of this, because we're going to have to talk about a bunch of nonsense as opposed to the conclusion to a great tournament with great players, great teams, a lot of drama, a little bit of a surprise winner in terms of the hosts being beaten. We've had this conversation for about a year now. Is Morocco one of the top teams in the world? Are they at the adults table? Not yet. And this result doesn't help them get there. I still think getting into the quarterfinals of the World Cup will do that. But now you got to look at Senegal as a team that can get to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. They pull the upset. There are all kinds of talking points, but a couple of things that have popped off since the game, if you've not been paying attention today. There are reports that the Senegal manager, Pape Thiaw, will be suspended for his behavior during the final. There is talk about Morocco pursuing legal action after the walk-off over a referee decision, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the ball boy behavior and substitute behavior from Morocco. All kinds of different things. And I mean, John, look, it kind of reminds me, and the frustration I'm feeling is definitely reminding me of Copa America and the distractions from great soccer and a great tournament that we saw there. And those were more of the organizational side of things, but there were also behavioral issues as well. These are the kind of things that people will bring up when they want to take shots at this game that we care about so much. And it's incredibly frustrating because we're not talking about a great game. We're talking about ball boys, substitutes, walking off over a referee decision. We will talk about the penalty that ensued after it, but we have to talk about the effect the walk-off had on the penalty, because it had an effect. I mean, I don't think it made him choose to go Panenka there, but it had an effect.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, all of the, if we can get into heads of state not wanting to hand trophies over to other countries. I mean, there's all kinds of things from this. But it's just so frustrating that such a great month of soccer has now been sullied by what happened yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit this morning on SDHAM, where you have all of these nations that are emerging on the continent that were in the tournament, and they had their moments, and that they were making things difficult for the larger names and the larger nations that were associated that we figured that were going to be making deep runs into the tournament. That to me is something that I always latch on to when you have tournaments like this, and then you have all of the larger names and the personalities that are attached and all the questions that are going to be there. Is Egypt going to get past, is Egypt going to get past one particular marker, and are they going to chase after a championship? Are they going to be there, or are they going to be chasing after third and fourth? All of those questions about the on the field stuff. And then you end up with, you end up with goal off the board. You end up with PK. You end up with VAR. You end up with fans charging out.
No, hold on. I'm going to stop you right there because there is a very clear separation here that needs to be separate. It's not being separate in a lot of this conversation, and I'm going to make sure it's separate in this one.
Right.
Referee decisions are completely separate from the rest of this. Completely and utterly separate. There's been way too much crap written and said about the quality of refereeing in this tournament. Both of the decisions in the final were 100% justifiable, and that's the key word. Because I can sit here and tell you I like a call, I don't like a call. You can do the same. You don't have the whistle, and can you look at it and say, I see why he called that? Yes. So you cannot like a call all you want, but to go even further, because it's going to tie into the talk about managerial stuff. It's going to tie into the talk about punditry stuff. If you're going to do this, if you're going to have a microphone, if you're going to work in the game, if you're going to be in these big moments, there is a responsibility to do it the right way and to be real about it. There was embarrassing scenes from Egypt after they were knocked out. Embarrassing, making signals that the referees were paid. There was embarrassing comments throughout the tournament about the referees rigging things for Morocco. And look, maybe I'm a little sensitive to this because we have some serious issues going on in college basketball at the moment where there are things about were outcomes really supposed to happen, or were they fixed, or were they shaved, or whatever. So you better come correct if you're going to start making those kinds of accusations. Referee decisions, especially when they are justifiable, when you can sit there and say, yeah, that's on the scale of call it or not call it. It's not a call that makes no sense. You can sit here and say we want refereeing to be better, but we're not going to put this on the referees. I'm not. He blew the whistle, and you could say maybe he blew it early on the goal that was taken off the board. But there's contact. There's contact. Hands are out, running into Hakimi. Does he go down a little easily? Yeah, I think he loses his balance too. Why? Because he got hit. Can you not call that? Sure. But you can call that. So you can feel aggrieved by it all you want, but that's a call that happens, I would say, more often than not. And the penalty. 10 years ago, before video assistant referees, maybe that doesn't get called, period. It wasn't called on the field in this one. We don't live in that world anymore. When you look at that replay and you see a defender with his arm not just on, but around, and you see a pull, does Diaz go down easily? He absolutely does.
Yes.
He feels the contact and he goes down easily. But is he pulled? Yeah. Can you justify that call? Yeah. You can. So this is where Senegal was incorrect. And I'm glad Pape Thiaw apologized and recognized that he was in the wrong here. He should be punished severely for telling his team to walk off the field, because that is what amps all of this up. That is what amps up this kind of nonsense about, well, things were fixed. All the referees were colluding to put Morocco in the final. All that kind of stuff. Did he do it because he didn't like a call before? Sure. Was he frustrated because the organizers did not handle things right when Senegal arrived for the match? No, they did not. And was he frustrated with that? I'm sure he was. Was he frustrated with the fact that their training pitch was at the Moroccan headquarters and it'd be easy to watch what they're doing? Yes. Was he frustrated because security didn't seem to be very strong in those moments? Yes. Was he frustrated because his backup goalkeeper had to keep hands on a towel to make sure the ball boys didn't throw it away? Yes, I'm sure he was. Does that justify him walking off the field in a final? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is wrong. He should pay the price for that. He should be suspended for that for quite a while. We'll see what happens. But that is not the same. The referee decision, and this is where I'm not saying that this is what you're doing. I'm saying this is what we can't do.
Yeah.
We can't leave any room for interpretation. We have a responsibility to people who listen to this show. And more than anything, I feel like I have a responsibility to the game. We are not going to lump the referee decisions into this part of it, because referee decisions, you can ask 100 referees on what they would call in those two situations. I don't think it's 100-0 in either one.
I think you're right.
That's the nature of the game. And I think that's the nature of sport. And I think that's the nature of where sports are today, where we can slow things down. We can analyze things in a different way. The athletes are better than they ever have been before. It's harder for referees to see everything, to keep up with everything. Players can game the referees more than ever before because they know how now and they know what they can do. And they think about it and they work on it. And these are things that happen. Referee decisions in this case did not make it justifiable for Senegal to walk off the field. Did that play into Brahim Diaz not handling things well with the penalty? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. He made a bad decision. There were people who immediately said, like, oh, he missed it on purpose. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
No.
And missed it on purpose because he felt that everything was wrong in the build-up to. No, he did not. He went for something that Zinedine Zidane did in a World Cup final. So let's chill a little bit on the Brahim Diaz stuff too. He made a mistake. It's too risky in my opinion, to decide to take the penalty in that way. But he made a mistake, and he is going to have to live with that. And I hate it for him because he had a great tournament. But that's what we're going to remember, is that. You make the save early in extra time. Senegal goes down. It gets a great goal. And then they see things out. David, I totally agree. The ball boy, the substitute, I think it was a substitute player who was involved in this.
Right.
Staffers, all of that, 100%. They should be suspended too. I am not saying they shouldn't be. Here's who I have here's who and what I have a problem with coming out of this game. It's not the referees.
No.
It's not the referees. And look, I'm going to say this straight up front because I know there are people rolling your eyes at me trying to defend referees right now. I love this game and I get passionate about it. And I disagree and I agree with referee decisions just like anybody else in the game. That never makes it okay to say a referee intentionally made decisions to throw a game. It never makes it okay to question their integrity. It never makes any of those things okay. You can think a referee blew it. You can think a referee is arrogant. I do. There are referees who I think are arrogant, and I think it affects their refereeing, and I think it affects the games that they referee. Do I think they're intentionally trying to affect the result? No, absolutely not. That's a whole different line. We can't put that in the same conversation. So the refereeing decisions, like them, don't like them, whatever, different conversation. Senegal's manager has to be suspended for telling his team to walk off the field in the final because he didn't like a call. That's absurd. He needs to be punished for that. The Moroccan, whoever organized, the match official who organized the ball boys, needs to be suspended from doing that for the rest of their careers. Period. The substitute player for Morocco who was involved in all this needs to be suspended for multiple matches. Period. Whoever organized everything for Senegal travel-wise to get into the city and get everything ready for this game doesn't need to be doing that job anymore. Period. Doesn't need to be happening. it's extremely frustrating that a lot of this stuff gets lumped together as Jarrett Smith joins, and I just keep waving him out. It's frustrating that this tournament is going to be remembered for this as opposed to a great tournament with great action. So, Jarrett, I am defending referees. I am saying that there are a lot of people who should lose jobs or be punished for their actions in this final. The referees are not in that category. But there are so many just shenanigans and things that are disrespectful to the game that it's not okay it happened. And part of it also comes down to the media portion of this. There's a lot of conversation in the media, again, like I said, about everything. And media, I'm including a large blanket here. We're talking blogs, we're talking podcasts, we're talking radio, we're talking TV, we're talking print, all of it. Because look, in 2026, it's all together now. You can say, like, you can do the Pat McAfee argument about traditional media, not traditional media. He's part of the media. We know this. We all are to some degree, and with that comes responsibility. The talk about like referees throwing things for Morocco, that's horrendous, and that all leads to the things that we saw yesterday, and leads to some of the things that we saw after Egypt was knocked out, and in other games too. Bad decisions are bad decisions, but man, there's too many bad things coming out of what was a great tournament.
There are. It's one of the I think we run into with some media and taking over different forms of media, because we ran into this before social media, where when you wanted to paint yourself as kind of satire, you could dip your toes into the idea of being traditional media being taken seriously that way. And the second criticism came down, you throw your hands up like, "Oh, I'm just this is just parody. I'm just having a good time. You shouldn't be taking me seriously." But then demanding to be taken at other times, you cannot have it both ways. People want to have it both ways, and that's it's not something that can be done in a sustainable way. Because then you're going to get people talking out the wrong side of their ass about things like AFCON. Like, look, we love to I feel like we love to talk about AFCON as being kind of unhinged at times, which it is, just because AFCON has always been that way, and not like in a legal way, not like in a as chaotic as this
Gold
final
Cup,
was.
So's Copa America. They're all unhinged, and we love it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I'm going with this. Like, what we talk about it the same way with the Gold Cup. Like, if anything, one of the running jokes is that, UEFA would not survive a day in AFCON, would not survive a day in CONMEBOL or CONCACAF. No. They'd have to tuck their pinky in and they wouldn't be able to survive. But you've got to, when you have these conversations, you have to be realistic about it and talk about it in a sense of this game, this tournament, this continent, these countries. Like, you have to show them respect as you talk about it.
Yeah,
you have to.
I'm glad you said it.
Show
that way,
the game.
Yes.
You have to show them respect. You have to show the game respect, because we do the same thing. And I like to think that we eventually get there, even when we're talking about CONCACAF, because we talk about like Curacao making Caraco, as Wayne Gretzky's mashed potato brain called it.
Yes, there's that.
Yeah.
We can joke about Curacao making it. At the day, what it comes back to is Curacao made it, and it was a really awesome story. Honduras made it, Haiti made it, and it's an amazing story when you take all of the exterior factors and lump them in with the fact that they came together and they played well enough to make it. At the end of the day, we need to give credit to the game itself. I harped on with John on the morning show when I make sporadic appearances, especially during the season, is, look, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you get beat. And those are three different options and three different outcomes that can happen. Like, you can win, you can play well enough to straight up win a game. You can give games away. We saw it a lot with Atlanta last year, where it'd be those individual moments that cost you the game. Not 90 minutes of terrible performance, but it'd be individual moments. Sometimes you get beat. Sometimes, we lost 2-1. What happened? They hit two Golazzos that were like 0.1 on XG. Alex is somewhere like his knee that just got surgically repaired with a cadaver ACL is screaming at him because I said XG out loud. But like, sometimes you get beat, and we have to show the game that respect, and we have to show teams and countries that respect.
Well, it kind of leads us to the coaching conversation that I want to have just a little bit here. I don't look. Oliver Glasner's not going to be at Crystal Palace next year. We knew that at the beginning of this year when he didn't do a new contract. Thomas Frank is going to end up losing his job at Tottenham Hotspur, and that job was probably poisoned to begin with. And all the things that have been said about that is like turning a super tanker around is absolutely true. Just like it was for Wilfred Nancy walking into Celtic, just like other jobs that Xabi Alonso walking into Real Madrid, all different kinds of super tankers, but all things that take time and people don't give it. The fact that you had, again, going back to like, people need to look in the mirror about some of this stuff. Why is the managerial carousel what it is? You've got people saying that Walid Regragui, the manager for Morocco, should resign because they lost in the final to a team that it was about a 50-50, maybe a 55-45 game. Senegal was a little bit better, I think, in the run of play. But
they didn't lose to Cape Verde.
I mean, even that, like, people are saying he should resign. Like, that's insanity.
I'm not trying to insult. I'm not trying to insult Cape Verde. I'm just saying that it's not like he lost a game where he was. It's not like he lost a game where a Michigan App State game. But he lost to a Senegal team that brought fight and kept it level.
Yeah, but here's my point: like, losing one game, you shouldn't lose your job anyway. Like, that's stupid too. Like, that's absurd. If Michigan shouldn't have fired their coach because they lost one game to App State, yeah, I should have some questions about what happened. If you have a crazy upset, I'm going to ask you what happened. I need a breakdown, and I'm going to look at you a little differently. But if we start firing people over one game, like, again, you can't build anything. The game is worse if you do that. Tottenham Hotspur is going to set themselves back even further by doing this again, where they run somebody over short-term results when they need long-term. Real Madrid, Barcelona gave them a little bit of help losing this weekend, but that's one of those games, Jared, you talk about, like, you can get beat. Barcelona, I think, hit the post 3 or 4 times and like had goals pulled back. Like, just one of those games. It happens. It's your first loss in 12. Like, that's life. And I think just these conversations about coaches, people don't take into account what that job is anymore. And it's just, let's score some points and pop off at the mouth. And then you get clubs who actually listen to the noise. Celtic, others, like, they're not the only ones. But you get clubs that listen to the noise, and there are. Everyone's different,
but no one wants to admit that there's layers.
No, because that would actually make us think and talk.
They want a simple one word. They don't even want the nut graph on the release. They want it down to one sentence and one excuse that is, why did this fail? Here's the simple answer that makes me feel better, and I don't have to hug my teddy bear tighter at night.
And sadly, usually what that is disrespecting that coach as a person and not talking about why things happen, not talking about what were they trying to build, what is the club trying to build, what did the club tell the coach that they would give them time to do, and then pull that back from them. Like, nobody wants to have that kind of conversation anymore, and it hurts the game as a whole. Walid Regragui took Morocco to a semifinal of a World Cup. Should he have the job for life? No. But has he done anything to not stay in the job right now? They qualified for another World Cup. They're expected to make a run. They got to the finals of AFCON. They played well. Were they the overwhelming dominant team? No, because Africa's really good. And there were other really good teams.
Africa's weird. And, hey, 4 card. You're just in time for Africa. You're just in time for AFCON.
No, we're leaving AFCON because we have other things to talk about. But yes, it is all jumbled together tonight.
But this is the thing of when we say we have to show countries respect and we have to show teams respect, you have to show federations respect, and you have to understand the nuances that come with these interfederation games, whether it's CONCACAF, whether it's CONMEBOL, whether it's AFCON, whether it's Asian Confederation. Hell, if it's Europe, I know Europe is a little less on the parity side because of the haves and have-nots, but you have to show respect and understand, like, you're if you haven't paid attention, you're thinking, oh, Morocco made a fun run in the World Cup. How come they didn't blow everyone out of the water? They must suck. Everything must be bad. Without understanding and trying, or at least God trying to understand that each country is going to be different and each confederation is going to be different, and styles make fights, and culture matters, and competition matters.
But in this case, and it's not always in this case, but in this case, it's Moroccan media who are saying some of these things. They know. They're sticking their head in the sand in this case because they know. They know it's tough. They know that Senegal is very good. They know that Morocco hasn't won AFCON in 50 years. How can you immediately score some points? Say the coach should be fired.
Go to the extreme. Absolutely. Yeah.
Say he should resign. Know.
If you fire the coach, if they choose to fire the coach for whatever reason, I hope they lose to the shambled body that is Scotland in the World Cup.
Same. That would be incredibly disrespectful to the work that Regragui.
It would be very funny.
It'd be hilarious for everybody else, but it would set the game back there.
Yep.
And that's the frustrating element of a lot of these coaching conversations is we're not actually talking about the game. We're dismissing people who work in it and an incredibly difficult job that in many cases comes down to luck on the day. Because it's sports. There's a lot of luck in sports. You can say that. It's okay. You can't use that as an excuse in every game, but does it happen? Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. It's just, it's so annoying when we get into these portions of the year, and it feels like January is always one of them. The carousel of managers is just absurdity. You're going to have, where is Oliver Glasner going to be next year? That's going to be a subplot for a long time. Who is Real Madrid going to hire next? That will always be a subplot on El Chiringuito. We already know that. But these are things that affect the game. Like, I wish we could just laugh and say, when people say these foolish things, it doesn't mean anything. It does. Sadly, it does. There's a responsibility to, in my opinion, I think we try. We get passionate. We get fired up. We talk about all these things, but there's a responsibility to talk about the game properly, in my opinion. And properly means don't forget these are human beings. And stop trying to score points on the backs of their hard work. That's the part that I think all of us need to call more for. This is going to happen in college football too. It happens in NFL. It happens in every sport. This is global conversation, but we're talking about this game because we love it. And because we love it, we should ask for more. And we should ask for, especially these coaches who put their careers into the hands, in this sport more than any other, in my opinion, into the hands of 16 players, because they can make 5 subs. You can include the bench behavior, and you can include the rest of the squad. 25, 30 guys. They're putting their careers, their livelihoods into the hands of these guys. And hopefully it works out, because you can't call timeouts. You can't stop the play. You can only make 5 subs in a game. You can only do so much. You do all the work during the week, and you hope it pays off. And we don't respect that. And we do, but a lot of people don't. And it gets to this kind of conversation where Walid Regragui, who has taken Morocco farther than anybody else in their history, except for the manager who won AFCON 50 years ago. If you want to say that's bigger than going to the World Cup semifinal in 2022, I'll argue with you, but fine. Then he's the second most accomplished manager for Morocco of all time. And you don't disrespect somebody's work over a crazy 1-0 match where your star player made a bad decision on a penalty in stoppage time.
He made a bad decision because it didn't work.
I think he made a bad decision because I think it's too risky there. I'm not saying he's a bad player and he's terrible and all the things that people have
No,
said.
I'm not putting that in your mouth.
No, I said this earlier, but I think it's a bad decision because it's too risky. If it works,
That's
obviously
fair.
we're going to forget about it, but I'm still going to think it's a bad decision. I thought it was a bad decision when Zinedine Zidane went Panenka in the World Cup final. It worked because he's Zidane, but
Yeah.
I think it's too risky. I think you lower your percentage of success in that moment, especially in that one where everything was kind of weird already.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen him go for a different decision, but that should not affect Walid Regragi's career right now.
Oh man. I mean, it's the way things are these days, sadly, is that you have folks, whether it's in front of a microphone or fans or executives or what have you, and they live in the extremes. Obviously, there is less understanding than there should be about context of a situation, of a match, and how it plays out in the overall. It is, oh my God, we've lost 1-0. The sky is falling. We've got to make a change. Oh my God, we won 1-0 in a nail biter and it was amazing and everything's fantastic. And, you know, there's no change there. No change needed. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. And then when you lose your next one, oh my God, everything's wrong. And so it's the idea of losing context in all of these things that folks get lost in. It's like, just focus on the larger elements here. Don't just sit there and get wrapped up in the idea of after 45 minutes or after 90 minutes, somebody should be fired. After 90 minutes and you win and then you lose the next one by the same margin, then something's wrong. Focus on the larger picture here, and not enough folks do that these days.
It's frustrating, and I'm glad you said context because that is a massive part of what is lost these days, and it's what has to be had. I mean, look, we had this conversation in the group chat about the Falcons making the decision to fire Raheem Morris at the end of the season. If you've made the decision, your context should be the entire season, not going on a winning streak at the end when the games didn't matter. And I'm glad they made the decision. If that was where they felt they needed to make the decision and change, cool. Context is everything, the entire context, not just one little element of it, not trying to score points, not trying to do these things. And there's just too much nonsense in this stuff. And it's frustrating because there's plenty to talk about that you don't have to manufacture BS. Like, there's plenty to talk about in this game. That's why we do what we do, right? We can sit here and talk about Brahim Diaz's decision in that moment. You know, I feel like it's too risky. If he scores it, it's glorious, and it's a moment that will live forever for him. If he Panenkas that and wins AFCON for the first time in 50 years, crown him. Like, seriously, I mean, he's going to win every award, and he's going to be that guy for the rest of his life. He made a decision that he's not going to be given the love that he deserves for a long time because of that decision. That's the game. That's what we love. That's what we love in a lot of ways. That's what we hate at times about it too. But there's plenty of these things to talk about in the game. We can talk about what Tottenham Hotspur should do long term, what their way should be, what their identity should be. We can talk about how Arsenal showed patience to a manager where there was a lot of nonsense conversation and BS about firing him a long time ago and he's terrible, and people trying to make all kinds of crazy stories about, look, some kind of interesting ways to motivate his squad and make some points. The hiring pickpockets was one I did not have on the bingo card, but they're the best team in Europe right now. Like, it's paying off. All the nonsense about Pep over the years in Germany and in Spain and in England, like all of these different things. We can talk all about all kinds of stuff. We can talk tactics. We can talk philosophy. We can talk player development. We can talk about the game developing in these different countries. We don't need to manufacture things. And that's what's so frustrating, whether we're talking managers or we're in the situation with Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt and Lisandro Martinez, where we've got legends of a club at Manchester United distracting everyone from what should be an epic win. They beat Manchester City. It's Michael Carrick's first win in this run in charge. We can have the conversation on if Manchester United should just blow up the coaching search and give it to Carrick. They could do worse. One game shouldn't decide that, though. But we should be talking about all these things. We should talk about the individual performances. We should talk about what was different. We should talk about Lisandro Martinez's performance because it was really good. But instead, we have two legends of the club making it about themselves. And they made it about themselves before the game, where they are not talking about, can Lisandro Martinez, is he a good enough player to do this? Is he a good enough player to do that? No, they're mocking his size. They're mocking him. They're saying that the club will never win with him and nobody would ever win with him and all blah, 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 blah. And then he has a great match. And of course, he's asked about what was said by two legends of the club who are not just random people talking. They earned the right not to be random people talking by what they did on the field for that club. Paul Scholes is one of my all-time favorite players. An amazing player. If you did not see Paul Scholes at his best, he's the only English player of that generation who could have played in Barca's top teams. 100%. But stop talking.
Underrated freak athlete.
It's crazy. Unbelievable.
I mean, a technical player. I'm not trying to take away from a technical player. I'm not trying to downplay his technical ability. Underrated freak athlete.
For sure. I mean, you watch his early stuff when he broke in, and he was like a scrappy little forward, and then he turned into a great central midfielder. Like, amazing career. But
the question I would always want to ask these guys is, when you were in your mid-20s coming up, especially like if you're at Manchester United, your mid-20s and you're part of the famous class.
Yep.
How would you have taken it if some dude from the 1970s just started popping off and dog cussing you?
Well,
whether vulgarly or not.
Look, these guys saw it firsthand. They saw it firsthand in what happened to Beckham after World Cup 98. They saw it firsthand in some of the horrible things that were said and done.
So why are you perpetuating this cycle of nonsensical bullshit?
Clicks. Clicks and attention. And it's a shame. And look, this is where it's something that we talk about here in SDH a lot. We're going to have opinions that turn out to be wrong. We're going to say we think this is going to happen and it's going to turn out wrong. Put your hand up. If I say I don't think this player is at this level, whatever, and he does it and he wants to say something about me about it, cool. You earn that right. Do it. So they asked Lisandro Martinez after this game about what was said, and he definitely wasn't happy about it, and that's okay. Put your hand up and say it's fine. Don't try to score more points. Don't come back today and start talking more nonsense. It's embarrassing. And it should not be what we have to spend our time on. But it also, frankly, has to be called out. It has to be called out in these moments because this is, if you love this club, if you are Manchester United through and through, this is not what they need to be dealing with right now. This is not what, look, maybe it gave Lisandro Martinez a little extra oomph in this game. Sure. Don't take credit for insulting somebody to get that. Like, it's just, come on.
And they did.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like they made jokes about it on social media about what kind of tea they would want. And then they tried to take credit for his good performance that they had nothing to do with. Like, no, that's not okay. This is not what we should all stand for if we love this game. It's not okay. It's one reason why this club that is one of the world's largest earning clubs, one of the world's largest earning sports organizations, is where they are right now.
One of my favorite things that people have started, and not to say that it's my favorite in the sense that like this is my Roman Empire, but people talking about now is that what if Manchester United really has just been a mess the whole time, and Fergie just knew the holes in the boat to plug, and knew how to get the best out of everybody, and we start talking about Manchester United as kind of like a Florida Gators kind of thing of instead of talking about all this glory beset by patches of chaos, just talk about it as kind of a very large and chaotic mess that's oftentimes does not get out of its own way, except when they had one of the greatest managers to ever walk this earth who was able to line things up. Damn.
They've had two of the greatest managers to ever work in the game in Matt
Yes.
Busby and in Alex Ferguson, and both of them won there. And yeah, they've had their moments of meh without those two for sure.
I mean, we talk about this John. We talk about this with Alabama. About I know you and I talked about it with Nick Saban left Alabama. Kalen DeBoer or whoever the hell comes after Kalen DeBoer is going to have to deal with the fact that in a changing world, Nick Saban was able to basically flash all those rings and flash the "I'm Nick Saban" card and get everyone lined up and keep things moving in the system.
Yep.
When he's gone, who runs the system?
The system, and I think in our soccer conversation here, we talk about identity a lot, and we talk about a club's philosophy and who they are, and usually when they get away from that is when things go south. You have to commit to that. Manchester City committed to that when they hired Pep. It wasn't the fact that they'd won 2 league titles before that in the modern era, but they created an identity, and they knew this is exactly what they wanted to do. They hired people that he'd worked with. The whole plan was to get him to build who they want to be, and that's why they are thinking about somebody like an Enzo Maresca as the next step when Pep's time is done on the sideline, because he follows in that identity.
Yep.
I think maybe American football, it's a little bit more organizational than like a playing identity that is so critical.
Yeah.
I think in basketball, a playing identity is very important. Not as important as this, but we see clubs, it's very rare, and that's why we talk about them all the time. Real Madrid, who has won over eras and eras and eras and eras, usually because they've had some of the best players in the world. Not as philosophically based, let's say. Barcelona didn't really have that until Johan Cruyff showed up. Well, first Rinus Michels, and then Johan Cruyff as a player, and then Johan Cruyff as a manager who took it to a next step. And then Pep kind of codified it, and now you've had a lot of success since, in spite of some absolute clown show operational people at Barcelona. God, they're so broke.
I mean,
Bayern,
they have been beset by some outstanding financial chicanery.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, amazingly so.
Bayern's different because I don't think they don't have the competition in Germany, but they have tried to have identity and tried to have philosophy, and it's evolved. It's not super static. I mean, you've had different kinds of Bayerns over the years, but it's hard to say because they can just out-talent that league so easily. England, I think the clubs that are the successful ones right now are the ones with identity, and the ones that are come and go are the ones that don't have it. And to have identity, whether we're talking in a manager's lifespan, which typically is like 3 years, like there's some who are going to outlast that, but typically it's about 3 years. To have that consistency, you've got to commit to that. I don't think what the Manchester United ownership people, I don't think what Sir Jim Ratcliffe said about 3 years with Ruben Amorim was incorrect. And I said that at the time. Now, they didn't give him that.
No.
But that's a whole nother topic. They said that, and then they didn't give him that because that's just funny. If you want to have identity, you've got to commit to it. And that's the challenge in this nature of a world that we're talking about here, where it is one bad result, manager should leave, he's terrible.
Yes.
One bad game for a player, fire him, he's awful, he's a bum.
Yep.
Then noise starts to amplify, and patience is lost. And then you just end up punching yourself in the face with brass knuckles.
Yep.
But enough about Celtic.
Deserve your own fate.
There's that. I mean, Celtics in this conversation, but they're closer to a Bayern in the sense that they can be dysfunctional and still win. But now they've got a couple other teams that are around them at the moment because they've been so dysfunctional.
They have, and like I said, the Woodford Nancy thing is complicated. Again, you can't simplify these things down to one sentence. Like Jason, you and I, we messaged about it when he was closing in on the gig, and you were out of it. He's like, you shouldn't take this job.
No, not for what he wants to do as a manager.
Because you were asking Wilfred Nancy to come in and implement an entirely new system at a club where there were already, and these are different players. Let me preface that. There were already rumors back when Ronnie Dyla was there that some of the veterans resisted Ronnie Dyla.
No.
And undermine might be a strong word. It might not be strong enough. Undermined what he was trying to do in modernizing that team. But you were asking a guy to come into a place like that in the middle of 3 very, very, very important games with no real time to install a complex and different style of play and expecting him to be successful. And then when he wasn't, you let the noise get really loud.
4 practices, Jared? 4 days before the first.
I mean, he came in. He had, he had I think 1 match, and then it was a three match week, including a cup final, which is Gummy Bear Cup final. It's a Fried Mars Bar Cup.
Yep.
Then you had Hearts.
Yeah, Hearts first, and then you had a European match in the middle.
Yeah, and then you had a European match where you got just waylaid.
Yep.
But it was not a good situation for him to take. He shouldn't have taken it when he did, which is on him and on his agent. And whether that is hubris or whatever, thinking he could have made it work, whether it is hubris to think he could have made it work or bad identification, looking at that roster and thinking, I can at least make this work for now, and then getting there and then potentially going, oh, God, these guys can't do this, which accurate statement. That roster is not technically sound at all. Dude, like yesterday, they beat Western League team in a cup round that is basically a semi-pro team, and it was just an awful 90 minutes. They won 2-0, and they got the second goal in like the 85th minute to put it away, and it's grim. But
my question would be about how it worked out, and we probably won't ever get the answer.
Probably not.
The timing was very complicated because it dragged on for a while about when he was actually going to take the team. It ended up happening at the absolute worst time to take it.
You should have just waited till January at that point.
I don't know if he would have had that choice because of the way it dragged on. Was it supposed to have happened sooner, and then for whatever reason it happened then, and it's almost like a take it or leave it kind of situation? And we'll never know. We'll never get those answers. But
I agree with you. And if it was me, I would have left it at that point. Like
I probably would have too. But that's a really tough thing to do in that moment when you've left where you were and were successful, and you've committed to this big jump in terms of risk, not big jump in terms of level. Because and people have lost their minds over quotes that are attributed to Steven Moreira.
Styles make fights, and the styles are very different. The skill level a lot of times is very different because look at the amount of money being spent, and not with the old firm, not with Hearts. Look at the money being spent at Falkirk, at at Hamilton, who's about to probably go under administration. Look at the money being spent at like Motherwell compared to your middle of the road MLS club, and look at how they play. This isn't this is not a simple answer, no matter how many bloggers and people on Twitter, the dead bird, whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever they want to make it. It's not that simple.
You can't sit here and say like on either side of it because Celtic doesn't have a salary cap. So what would they be in MLS? We don't know. I don't think they would be all that good in their current composition. I just don't. But this is not a typical Celtic team. This is a bad Celtic team.
This is an awful Celtic team
Yeah.
that is. And I will tell you, as someone who's watched them, this is a team that has suffered from now more than multiple windows, more than a year of ownership and scouting failures of selling guys, not bringing in players to replace them of equal quality or better quality, and just
Or
trying to kind of
potential quality that you can develop.
Yeah, but they don't develop anyway.
No.
I mean, they don't use their academy. They bring out like one academy kid every 2 or 3 years. They might show something, then they get shipped off somewhere.
And that's insanity in that league, because that is a league where you can absolutely develop talent, because especially in that team.
They should be doing the Ajax model. And Ajax does it in a tougher league, in a league with more parity. But they should be doing the Ajax model where you're putting kids in, and every now and then the stars align, and you have this team of young, insane players that you're going to sell for a ton of money, and you make a fun Europa League run into like the quarterfinals or something, and it's fun, and we have a good time, and then we sell those guys to start over. You should be doing that, but you don't.
No, it's frustrating. I mean, people are making cracks about Steven Moreira. I'd love to figure out where these were from, but they've made their way through the Celtic majority online, and he said, no disrespect, but I really think that MLS is way, way better than the Scottish League. I was very surprised at how bad it was. That's just my opinion. I had this conversation with you. I said it. Like, the technical level of that Celtic team was not anywhere near what his Columbus Crew team was. Like, beyond the idea of learning the style of play and the system and all that, like, just some of the basics were not as good as Columbus Crew players. That's how it looked. And when that is the case, and you're not going to get the time to either revamp the roster or try to develop some talent at a little bit higher level than they currently are at, these are the situations you get into. And again, it goes back to time. It goes back to patience. It goes back to committing to an idea, to a style, to who you are. If Celtics who they are, I don't know who they are at this point. Honestly, I have no idea. Like, if you went to the board and said, what do you want to be? I don't think you'd get a clear answer, because do you want to be like the Scottish Galacticos? Okay, then go sign top Scottish players and have all the stars of the league. They don't really have that. Do you want to develop talent? Well, they definitely don't want to.
Those guys are in Italy.
Like, like, pick something. Like, be something. Instead of we're just going to get guys and be pretty good, and then get mad when they don't go and hold on playing horrible soccer against a team in, Belgium and lose badly. Like, fire everybody. We're not, like, that's not how any of this works. It's very annoying.
One of the things that, and I know we need to move on. One of the things that pissed me off the most is the Jacobs online talking about it and deciding to turn it into this civil war between Columbus and Celtic, and to a larger scale, Scotland and the United States, who decided that they just wanted to make it a thing about Wilfred Nancy. And in doing so, they no longer see the forest for the trees. When Brendan Rodgers left, they had the right idea, which is that the board and because when they had the big board meeting before Nancy was hired, and you have like Dermot Desmond's fail son of a Nepo billionaire kid, like he's the son of a billionaire, and he gets up there talking trash about the common fans on the west side of Glasgow, which is bullshit, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You're trashing your fans who are showing up at the stadium every day because they don't think it's good enough, and it's not good enough. Brendan Rodgers left and tells you it's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Martin O'Neill knows what he can and cannot do with that roster. He's been vocal about the shortcomings of it, but because he's Martin O'Neill, you can't really say or do anything because he's a club legend. It'd be like if Dan Reeves came back from the dead to coach the Falcons, and told you, "Hey, this roster ain't it." What are you going to say? You can't slander the man. But they seemed to understand at the moment that the issue here is, failings of the front office, failings of scouting, failings of spending. And then they just decided it's just too much fun to poke fun at MLS, and it's too much fun to poke fun at Wilfred Nancy. And they just decided that that was more fun use of their time and took some of the pressure off the board. Now, that's going to flip now that Martin O'Neill is back in charge till the end of the season, and the board will be back under pressure. But the fact that we got there in the first place is utterly unacceptable.
It goes back to seeking cheap heat, cheap clicks, no context,
Yep.
no conversation, slandering people, being awful to human beings. And that needs to stop, because when it doesn't, we see things like we've seen, whether it's some of the just awful things we saw in the AFCON final and at times at other points of the tournament, because we want to say that referees are trying to screw a team over, or all the calls are going against Senegal, so they walk off the field, which is terrible, and they shouldn't have done that, and they need to be punished for it. But all of this stuff does stem from these ideas that context doesn't exist. No, it does. And it has to be brought up more, and it has to be talked about more. We have to have these conversations. If we're going to do this, if we're going to do what we do, and this is the global we, not just SDH, not just the three of us. Like, if we're going to do what we do, there's a responsibility to it, in my opinion. And that's why we do it the way that we do it. Like it, not like it, that's completely fine. But we're going to try to talk about things in 360 degrees and not one. Because otherwise you get this kind of nonsense that happens. It's frustrating because there's so much good happening right now in the game. John's going to talk about the OFC Pro League tomorrow morning. I was watching a game from the OFC Pro League.
That was not a normal experience.
That was not. I watched a game from Bermuda before that. That was definitely not a normal experience. But there were glorious things in it for all of the chaos and all of the fun. And that's what's great about this game, is you can watch it at so many different levels in so many different places and learn things about these different places, which is always really cool. We'll get into that in Picks of the Week. But also just enjoy the fun of it. Just enjoy it. Like, that's what's great about this. That's why I think, you were kind of talking about it a little bit, Jared, and in the way that we talk about AFCON. Like, yes, there is absolute chaos that happens in some of these games that you might not see in the European Championships. Same thing in the Gold Cup, same thing in Copa America. Like, Copa America had a final delayed by 2+ hours because people were climbing in through air conditioning vents.
We moved the Libertadores final across the Atlantic Ocean.
Like, we've had so many of these different things that have happened in so many different places. We enjoy.
Never had to do that with Manchester United and Chelsea.
No. We enjoy some of the chaotic moments and those things, but not in a cheap way and to diminish it.
Yeah.
Like, that's different. And that's why, it's something that, doing what we do, we have to provide all of the context to where then it all makes sense. And that's best. At least our conversation makes sense. I can't guarantee anybody else's does. Can't guarantee that ours does. 75% of the time.
The first hour makes sense. The second hour is where we where we have taken it's not that so much that we go off the rails, it's that we've removed the rails.
It's like the you walk into the bowling alley and the kids are bowling and they've got the gutter guards up. Well, no, those are gone for us. So we end up in the gutter all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that last weekend.
Yeah, you ended up in the gutter last weekend?
No, no.
I know what he was saying, John. Thank you.
We're bowling, and then my child proceeded to just bowl like a 130, bouncing it off the.
That's got an asterisk
bumpers
next to it.
She scored higher than I did.
Were you using the bumpers?
I try not to, but also I've had to change the way I bowl because my finger never healed right, so I have to
You got to
forgot about your ridiculous finger.
You got to slide one.
Oh,
over.
dude, I might have to go have surgery again at this rate.
Oh my goodness!
They might have to take the screw out because the screw is too long.
Oh no!
We're. Dude, I had surgery in June, man. My hand still hurts.
I know. It's not good.
I got to a doctor out in Park City. They were like, first of all, I hate what your surgeon did. Like, cool, that's a great way to start this conversation.
I hate what your surgeon did.
I mean,
but yeah, we were bowling the other day, and I was like, this hurts. I had to like change how I was bowling. It did terribly.
Yeah,
my child walked up there and just threw it down the lane, bounced it off a couple times, picking up spares left and right. I'm like, you know what? You go, kid.
I mean, if you were both here's the thing. If you were both using the gutter guards and she beat you, then full credit to her.
Mm-hmm.
Her score is not a championship score because she was using the gutter guards. So there's an asterisk by it. She beat you in your competition because you both used the same format. So she's better than you, Jared.
No one's argued that ever. The infuriating thing is that she poured all of her skill points into luck. Like, I'm taking this kid to Vegas when she's old enough. Like, we'll play games and she's like rolling double sixes all the time. Like,
oh my god.
She's like, we'll play a trash card game and she's like flipping over the right cards constantly. Like, this kid has poured all her points into luck, and then she's so genuine about it afterwards. She's like, good game. And she means it.
Make it work.
It's honestly just demoralizing. And you get beaten like that, and then
she smiles as she's whipping your ass.
Yeah. It's like, you just smile at you and be like, good game. I love you.
Good game. Good day. Good to have you here.
I will try not to demoralize you two as we head into the next segment. It's Picks of the Week.
You know, good games.
Mm-hmm.
I love that track so much.
That horn section is so awesome.
I'm so happy I found that track. And I'm also happy that 2 weeks ago, last time we did Picks of the Week, I won for the fourth time. I'm tied with Nick on the overall wins for the season. Jarrett's on 3, Drew's on 2, John's got 1, Sophia's got 1. Maddie still has not won at all for a week. How did it go last time? I mean, it's 2 weeks ago, so we're not going to go into super detail. I won the first 4 games of the week, and then there was a draw in the crazy thing in, which one did we do? St. Kitts and Nevis. There was a draw in that match, and Drew was the only one who picked that. But then what ended up helping me the most was I picked the draw in the Brazilian Sergipano Serie A Level 1 first phase round 1 match between Lagarto and Falcon. I picked the draw in that, and that gave me the lead, and I held it the rest of the way, even though I lost the last 2 games. So I finished with 871. Second was Drew with 586. Sophia was third, 446. Madison was on 236. Jarrett, you had 58. I mean, it's better than you had been doing.
Plus, that's a plus.
John, you had minus 17. You were not good again.
No.
And Nick was even worse at minus 164.
Wow.
So for the season now, Nick is still in first with 55-40 overall. I've climbed into second. I was bad in the first half of the season. I've climbed into second with Jarrett's tailspin he's been on lately. I am at 4633. Drew is in third at 4,079. Jarrett's at 3627. Sophia's at 3277. Maddie's at 2301, even though she hasn't won a week yet. And there's one more person. 2127, John.
Good work by me.
I mean, it's positive. Like, if people were actually listening to your picks, they would not be out of juice boxes. They would just have the least amount of juice boxes of any of the rest of us.
They would be making money. They just wouldn't be making as much money.
Yeah. I mean, they would be making less than half of what they'd be making with me. They'd be making a whole lot less than what they'd be making with Nick, because he is leading at the moment. Nick and I both on 4 wins. We're 1-2 in the overall points total. Jared, it is funny that you've got 3 wins, but then you're 4th in the overall table.
I have been
You've been in a slump.
It's very one of my favorite baseball players ever was Willie Mo Pena. If you remember him,
I do remember Willie Mo.
Willie Mo Pena used to rearrange his spinal column on every swing, and firmly believed in the go big or go home approach. And that's how I've done this. It is like I have put together some ungodly weeks in good and bad ways, and that's kind of how I've lived this.
You've had a few that have been ridiculous, and you've had some bad ones too. It's been mostly bad lately, but hey, it's another week, and it's going to start in the Champions League tomorrow.
And I have to fill out the map.
Yes, you got to fill out the map with these. Did we go anywhere else that we've never been?
I mean, St. Kitts and Nevis, but I mean, is that
no? In this week, John.
Oh, in this week.
No, yeah, we have not gone anywhere brand new.
I'll drop this in the Discord for you degenerates in a bit. Give me a minute.
Yeah, we have not gone anywhere brand new this week that we have never been. We're in a different state in Brazil, but that's not quite the same thing.
The ref called it right at 90 minutes at 4-0. So,
well, yes, because he didn't want anybody to fight in the Copa Argentina match because the Estudiantes took control of it in the second half. They get their win. We do have Copa Argentina on the board this week, but we're going to start in Champions League. Internazionale and Arsenal. Arsenal are the road favorite plus 150. Inter plus 188. Draw plus 230. 2 games left in the league phase. Arsenal chasing a perfect record, top of the table. Inter are in 6th. They need points to stay above the 8 line because you don't want to have to go into that play-in round and have 2 extra games.
Yeah, just ask Crystal Palace.
Point of procedure.
Yes, sir.
So I have been for these Champions League and international matches for our map, and for those of you keeping score at home, I'm literally keeping a map this year of every country we hit. In this instance, because it's Inter and Arsenal, I'm putting for international competitions, I'm putting both countries as countries we hit. Is that fair?
No, I don't think it is. I think maybe can you color them differently if we're not calling a game from your domestic league?
Okay.
There we go.
Would you like a third color for international matches?
Yes, I would like a domestic league match or domestic cup match color. That is our primary. I would like a international competition club match color, and I would like a national team match color.
Okay.
Fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I'm asking.
There we go.
I want the map to be accurate.
And some countries can have 3 colors. They can be split into 3.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, work on it. We'll see.
Okay.
You can have Ivy draw it in with crayon. That's completely fine.
Using a computer. Honestly, she might be better than I am.
Yeah, it probably would be, actually.
Look, I'm teaching my child how to actually function on a computer, not just on a tablet. I want her to be able to use Excel, unlike some of these cretins today.
Yeah, give it 5 more years and you won't need it. Let's go to Inter, and they are the only Italian club to never be relegated. They went 33 games unbeaten in Europe between 63 and 67, one of the longest runs in continental history. And they chose black and blue after breaking away from Milan because they wanted international players, because they wanted to represent the night sky and stars. Arsenal, we've talked about how they came from munitions workers, which was pretty cool. You know about the Invincibles, probably. 49 league matches unbeaten in 2003, 2004. They've only been to 1 Champions League final. I think they should get to another one this year, but we're going to find out. 2006, they lost that to Barcelona. Never won it. Herbert Chapman is one of the legendary Arsenal managers in the 30s. He introduced shirt numbers. Thank you. He introduced or pushed for, I don't think he actually built them, floodlights. Thank you, Herbert Chapman. And he brought the WM formation to the fore.
Could you imagine if we didn't have shirt numbers for some of those twos games where all the Latin players wanted to dye their hair the same shade of...
No, I've done preseason games where we didn't have shirt numbers, and it's not fun.
Yeah. It's always fun. And then they do the wholesale line change, and you're just
I've done preseason games where they're in training tops, and even like our guys, well, that's a whole different conversation. Even our guys that I'm used to seeing without numbers can be a challenge at times, especially in preseason where you haven't seen them for a little while. But then when you work through it and you get and usually in these cases the other team's comms people are super helpful. But then you get the wholesale changes and it's just like it's a guy, it's a dude making a play. That's all I got. Speaking of this one, what are we dudes making plays, John? Which dudes are going to make more plays?
Neither. So I'm going draw.
Yeah, that's a shock. Gutless, John. Gutless.
Hey, look, it worked for Kefsey last week in the Discord.
Well, that's good, but it hasn't worked for you at all this season. So gutless.
I mean, Arsenal kind of stumbled their way through the match with Nottingham Forest, and I'm anticipating more of the same from them. And so them as a favorite, stumbling into this match, I'm like, draw.
I think you need to stop disrespecting Mikel Arteta.
I'm not disrespecting Mikel Arteta.
They're stumbling now. John, you're trying to get some clicks, aren't you? They're stumbling.
Absolutely true.
You're doing the thing.
I'm trying to get clicks. Absolutely.
I think Arsenal's going to win. I think Arsenal's going to go to Italy and win. Jarrett, what are you picking?
Contractually obligated by my Paulding County brethren to never pick for Inter. Therefore, Arsenal.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Wednesday. Let's go to Brazil. We are going.
Blood's thicker than water, baby.
Yeah, we are going to the Pernambucano Serie A1. I love these leagues; they're so great. We are going to the match with Vitória and Maguari. Maguari. I'm probably destroying this. I mean, I don't think that's it, but who knows? It's both teams are in the bottom two after 3 rounds, so it's already a relegation 6-pointer.
Oh, relegation scrap.
Vitória need their first win. Maguari are trying to keep themselves above the drop zone in the Pernambucano. Let's go to Vitória. They originally existed as a different club formed in 1990. They were disaffiliated from the Brazilian Federation after just not going to play a game.
That's just not good.
I mean, then they were refounded in 2008 as Association. I'm trying to translate a little bit. Association Academic and Sport Vitória das Tobacas. That part I don't.
I'm going to step away for a minute, so I'm just going to go and tell you that I'm taking Vitória.
You're going Vitória?
I'll be down for that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. The club's full name, when we go to the Vitória das Tobacas, that honors the victory at the Battle of Tobacas, a 1645 conflict in the Dutch-Portuguese War.
Hey, man.
I did not have that one on the bingo card. Also, Vitória has been a powerhouse on the women's side. The men are like 4th division nationally. The women have been very good at the state level, very good at the national level. They have been in the Copa Libertadores Feminina. So Vitória, good on the women's side. Men, not so much. Maguari, they began as a club, obviously rooted in the community in Pernambuco. Blue and white, they're known as the Azulão. Best season ever was last year in the state competition in 2025. They achieved their highest finish ever, 2nd place. Finished ahead of the big Recife clubs. They got into the 4th division nationally for the first time, Série D, and they got into the Copa do Brasil for the first time because the state leagues affect how you get into the National League and the Brazilian Cup. They were another one of the teams that were around and then ceased playing, and they were reactivated in 2021, right around their 50th anniversary. So Jarrett has went with Vitória. There are obviously no odds on this match. Vitória is the home team. John, what are you picking?
Yeah, I'm going to go home team. I'll go Vitória, too.
I'm going to go draw here because they both stink. That's what I'm going with. Two bad teams. So they're both going to be bad together.
Okay.
Wednesday, we'll stay in Argentina. As we were watching Estudiantes here earlier, we are going to go to Argentinos Juniors and Midland. Yes, Argentina. The team is called Midland. Copa Argentina round to 64. We do have odds on this one, which is frightening. Argentinos Juniors minus 600. The draw is plus 600. And Midland to win is plus 1,400. Now, a couple things. The Copa Argentina is played at neutral venues, which is fascinating. Sometimes it's far away from teams. Sometimes it's not. It's always cool when you get Boca or River like out in the interior where they don't normally play, and fans of those two giant clubs get to see them there. But it's like watching the Estudiantes game is super cool, where you've got the Ituzaingó fans behind one goal, and you've got the Estudiantes fans behind the other goal. This game is being played at Lanús. Argentinos Juniors against Midland. It is the first official match of the year for both teams. The Argentine top flight gets started this weekend, so keep that in mind. Weird things could happen. Argentinos Juniors, they were finalists in last year's Copa Argentina. They lost the title on penalties to Independiente Rivadavia. Midland, they enter fresh from winning the Primera B Metropolitana and achieving promotion to the Primera Nacional, their highest placement in more than a century. It's the first official competitive match between Argentinos Juniors and Midland, not the country band, a team in Argentina.
Or a city near Odessa, Texas.
Yes, I was going a little more obscure than that. This is from Argentina.
Oh, I can go even more obscure.
Go ahead, Jared.
There was a rock band in the I think I saw them in 2007. There was a rock band in 2007 that was signed to Serge Tankian's short-lived record label called Fair to Midland.
Fair to Midland, okay.
Yeah.
I like the country band currently right now, Midland. They're good. I like them.
Fair to Midland was absolutely unhinged. Great live show. One of those bands that went hard and burned out, and then the leads. For those of you that have ever been in any sort of music or band-related industry, A Tale as Old as Time, lead singer burned through their advance for their second album.
Oh.
They got the album out and then collapsed.
Not good.
No. Very fun band, though. Very weird music, but the lead singer was also unhinged.
Yeah.
Even more unhinged, even more obscure.
The country band Midland, you probably know them for the song Drinkin' Problem, which was pretty big for them. Sunrise Tells the Story is the one I would pick for you, though, if you want to go pick a Midland song to add to your playlist. Argentinos Juniors.
I would pick for you the song Dance of the Manatee.
Dance of the Manatee, okay. Argentinos Juniors, founded in 1904 in Buenos Aires by a group of young friends from Villa Crespo. That is where Club Atlético Atlanta is based as well. They used to be rivals of Argentinos Juniors. Argentinos Juniors is kind of leveled up. They are globally renowned as the nursery of the world, El Semillero del Mundo, because they've developed quite a few star players, Diego Maradona being one of them. He debuted for the team professionally at 15 years old before he went to Boca. But they've also helped develop Juan Roman Riquelme, Fernando Redondo, Esteban Cambiaso, Sergio Aguero. I mean,
that's all right.
That's pretty good. That's Ajax level development right there. Midland, also Argentinos Juniors are known as El Bicho, the bug. It's kind of cool. Midland is even better. They are known as El Funebrero, the Undertaker.
Oh,
I'm taking them right now. I don't. That number is I need y'all to know that number is ugly as hell. But I'm taking the Undertaker.
Well, I mean, I can get you a better number, but it's still ugly as hell.
No, we don't trust your numbers, John.
Any place you can get me a better number is a place that is going to involve I don't know, like some computer virus that was somehow frozen in the permafrost.
I don't
Not
trust
that computer viruses work that way, but yours will.
I mean,
I never trust.
Courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal. That's where I'm pulling it from.
No, it's not accurate. Plus 1,400. That is what we are going with. Right. Midland was founded in 1914 in Libertad, Buenos Aires province. A group of railway workers linked to the Buenos Aires Midland Railway Company. That's where it comes from. Original colors, black and white. Worker club aesthetic, basic, simple. First promotion to the Primera B Metropolitana came in the late 20th century. They are now in the Primera Nacional. It's the highest level the team's ever been in. The leagues were all really weird and shaped differently back in the day, so just smile and nod. Yeah. Midland's nickname, El Funebrero, the Undertaker, comes from a combination of their black kit and the tough, gritty spirit that they have had over decades of lower division battles. So Midland's plus 1,400. Jarrett's picking Midland.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
John, what are you picking?
I, I, however, am not. I'm going with Argentinos Juniors.
I will also go with Argentinos Juniors, even though I really want to pick a draw. I'm not going to do it.
The Undertaker, you can't ignore that. That's tremendous.
No, I'd like to have chaos and Copa Argentina, because games aren't played in home stadiums, and it is the first official games of the year for these teams in this round. Weird things can happen, definitely. I don't think they're going to happen to Argentinos Juniors. I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. Thursday, let's go to the Europa League. Ferencvaros and Panathinaikos. Ferencvaros plus 130, draw plus 240, Panathinaikos plus 200. This game's being played in Budapest. 2 matches left in the league phase. Ferencvaros are 6th. They are in a position right now to qualify directly. Panathinaikos are 15th. Probably not going to get to the top 8, although it's not out of the realm of possibility. They need to at least be in the top half of the play-in round to have any kind of advantage here. We'll see. Ferencvaros, they were founded in 1899 by Ferenc Springer and a group of bricklayers. That's why they are known as the Bricklayers, or Fradi in Hungarian, according to my research. They became the first Hungarian club to win the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1965. They also have a manager that we know very well, and Robbie Keane. He was appointed manager in January of 2025. Took over from Pascal Janssen, by the way, who we know as well here in MLS. He took over in January. He won the Hungarian league title May, and he celebrated in such an energetic fashion that he ended up with 3 stitches to his forehead. You should have seen him and one of his assistants in Stephen Glass, old friend of the show, celebrating Ireland and Scotland's success in international play. I've seen some videos. They were very happy. I don't think stitches were needed this time around, but maybe. Panathinaikos, they were founded in 1908. They are one of the oldest clubs in Greece. Club's emblem is the green shamrock. Symbolizes hope and unity and is a very recognizable symbol. They reached the European Cup final in 1971, the only Greek club to ever get there. Their motto, Athens, Europe, and beyond. That feels like a marketing ploy. Like that feels very generic. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah. There's a very flat logo that they paid a consulting firm way too much money for. Yeah. And the three words there are up here, and then down here around said logo, and they paid way too much money to a consulting firm to make that happen.
Yeah, it's very Buzz Lightyear of it.
Not good. I am going to pick the Hungarians to win this match at plus 130. Ferencvaros. John, would be you're picking Ferencvaros?
I'm picking Ferencvaros also, and I'm also in the Fradi shop trying to see if there's anything worth a discount.
Ay, Dios mío.
They've been good in European play this year too.
Yeah.
They've gotten the job done.
Yeah. They should avoid the play-in round, especially if they get a result here.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Okay.
If the Galaxy chose to move on, how far down the line? I don't disagree. The Galaxy don't always make good decisions, and you know this.
Actually, no, I wouldn't necessarily put them in the bad decision-making category. I'm trying to think of, beyond like signing a player that didn't quite work out. I'm talking like bad decisions, not unlucky decisions.
Yeah.
They haven't always been. I guess you're going back.
Galotto wasn't a great hire.
No, it wasn't bad because he had success coming in. Like, it did not work out, but it wasn't like outlandish to make the hire, which is what I would judge like a bad decision team on. The bad decision that they made, you're going back to the Beckham years when they had was it Ruud Gullit? I think it was Ruud Gullit.
Yeah, I think Gullit was there, yeah.
And it was bad. And it was bad. Abel Xavier, bringing him in to play center back was also very bad. That's almost ancient history in MLS circles. So I don't think the Galaxy are going to make bad decisions. I know where you're going, and I agree with you. Robbie Keane will manage the LA Galaxy at some point.
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
I know.
How far down the line is that phone call
in the next decade?
Potential managers?
I mean, if the job was open, he would be one of the 3 calls. Like he would be one of the first 3 calls for sure, and he should be.
Hurry up before he goes. Hurry up before he goes up to the off the mainland and across the channel, boys.
No, that's possible too. But also the way MLS is growing, like MLS is growing to that too, and he is somebody who I think respects that and would not be looking at, oh, I need to go to, and I always use Belgium as like a negative, but it's not.
Anderlecht.
It's just MLS has passed that as a league now, you know, and again, maybe in a certain case it's different, but I think Robbie's kind of at that case now, honestly. So like he's at a club in a smaller league, but a massive club in that smaller league. Like going to an Anderlecht, going to Brøndby, going to clubs like that where you're consistently in Europe, he's already there. So LA would be one that would obviously have an emotional pull for him. And I do think he'll manage an MLS sooner rather than later. But he definitely is building the case to start talking about the Premier League, to start talking about some of these other major clubs. And some of that's going to come down to what he does in the Europa League with Ferencváros this year.
Oh my God, please go to Ireland and take over like Shamrock Rovers or something and beat a Premier League team in a European competition.
I mean, I would thoroughly enjoy it, but no. What are you picking, Jarrett?
Oh, Ferencváros. Okay. I told you, I'm taking them because they've been good in Europe this year. It's as simple as that, man. Like they're almost certainly gonna go straight through. They're playing a team that is fighting and is going to be desperate, and it's no disrespect to Panathinaikos, but Ferencváros has just been better in this competition.
Okay, next match. It is supposed to be on Friday. I don't know if it's actually going to be on that day because it's the CAF Champions League, and this has happened before.
Yeah.
Might not be played till next Friday.
No, it's usually just in the weekend somewhere. It is the Mamelodi Sundowns hosting Al Hilal of Sudan. No odds, plus 100 for Mamelodi Sundowns, draw plus 125, plus 150 for Al Hilal Sudan. Both clubs have played 2 games. Both clubs are on 4 points. So a very big game in Group C. The Sundowns, we saw them in the Club World Cup. They are from Pretoria. They have heavily invested. They have a future champions training base, the Chlorklop training base, which is one of the best academies and facilities on the African continent. They won the CAF Champions League in 2016. They are the powerhouse in South Africa now. Very much possession-based, attacking. If you saw them in Club World Cup, they were a lot of fun to watch. Wide open. They're a fun team to watch. This is a game you want to see. And part of it is why you want to see the opponents too, Al Hilal. So they're in such a fascinating situation right now, obviously being from the Sudan. Al Hilal means the crescent, if you didn't know. And they have been regular participants in the Champions League. They've been to the final twice, 87 and 92. They are currently playing in the Rwandan Premier League. They're leading it right now by a point at the top of the table. They did have to play like a very shortened Sudanese championship, kind of a league. I mean, it was kind of almost like a tournament, essentially, to have teams qualify for African competition because the domestic league is, in its normal form, has been on hiatus due to the war. But this is a team that is consistently very, very good. They were very good in last year's Champions League. I think they were a Final 8 team last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they got to the semifinal. Very, very good. And this is a huge game. These are 2 really top teams out of Africa. This is one that you can watch on BN Sports, fntz.co/soccer down here. He did the slash again.
I did.
Jeez.
You know he's going to do that.
I know. It's just silliness. This is one you definitely want to watch. If we will know when it's actually going to be played. I think it is scheduled, according to SofaScore, at 1 o'clock on Friday. But I have not seen that confirmed, and I've seen that before, and the game gets played on Sunday.
Yes.
So, with that being all said, Jarrett, what are you picking?
Well, I'm not going to pick a draw because I'm not a coward.
Whoa.
Give me the Sundowns. Mostly for the reasons you
I'm
mentioned.
picking the Sundowns as well.
Yeah.
John?
Sorry, I'm writing as we go, but yeah, I'm picking Mamelodi Sundowns as well.
Okay, fair enough. Saturday, let's go to Colombia. Deportivo Cali and Independiente Medellin. Both clubs coming off of opening day losses in the Clausura. Early game, lots of talking points, lots of people probably trying to make clicks on the shows in Colombia right now.
Season's
about these two teams.
Over, fire everybody, we suck.
Deportivo Cali, they might be saying that. Independiente Medellin, they won the title last season, so probably not, but who knows? They might be all crazy. Deportivo Cali was founded, it might be, November of 1912. They are one of the oldest clubs in Colombia. Independiente Medellin was founded in 1913. So Deportivo Cali got a year on them. They got to the Copa Libertadores final in 1978. They lost to Boca Juniors in that final. Double digits in Colombian league titles, and Colombia, like many leagues in this hemisphere, have changed their format many times. So it's kind of hard to compare like titles and numbers and all that, but welcome to it. They are known as the Sugarmen, the Los Azucareros. Yeah. Sugar industry of Valle de Cauca, which has historically been central to the region's economy. Independiente Medellin, El Poderoso de la Montaña, powerful of the mountain. Again, founded in 1913. They won their first major Colombian league title in 1955. They won the Clausura last season. Huge club, both huge clubs. This is not a derby because we're talking Cali and Medellin, but it is a big game between powerhouses. This is a huge game. You can also watch this on Fanatis. The Colombian League is definitely a good one to watch on Fanatis. The level is good. I think you get some separation when you get down a level from Deportivo Cali, Independiente Medellin, some of the other powerhouses. There's definitely like a pretty steep drop from the top teams, but there's a number of top teams. Like the Colombian League is really interesting because of that, because it's not like Scotland, for example, where you have two and then a massive drop. Like it's generally about 4 or 5 that are pretty good and make runs when it comes to CONMEBOL competition, whether it's the Sudamericana or the Libertadores, although the Brazilian teams have pulled away from everybody in Libertadores now. The Colombian teams are right there in the mix with the Argentine teams, the Ecuadorian teams. But it's a really interesting competition that it doesn't feel like, because there's enough teams that are in that mix, like it doesn't feel like you go into it and it's going to be, it's going to be one of these two teams. Like it's an interesting competition to keep an eye on. I think you're starting to see more players from that region start to come back into MLS, for example. You've always seen players from this league make jumps to Europe for a minute there. And I remember having this conversation when Atlanta United launched, and yes, Atlanta United went heavy Argentine early on. But at that time, I was talking to Jared, our old friend, Ricardo Montoya, about like what the landscape was in South America at that point. And the Colombian League, because of the 2014 World Cup and the Colombian national team success, the Colombian League, the prices got crazy for a minute there. And it just didn't make sense. It was too much for that kind of player. So MLS teams weren't really bringing in a lot of top Colombian players. I think it shifted a little bit now. Like a little bit of that. There's always a joke meme of like you'll have a player's face and it'll be like, if they're English, if they're Colombian, if they're Brazilian. Like you always have that joke meme. For a minute there, Colombia was overvalued if they were from Colombia. I think Brazil is always kind of like that. And if you're talking about an English club buying an English player, overvalued.
Oh my God.
But you could say
I
could say the same in MLS to a degree. With American players are going to be more valued here than they would be in other places. That happens. Like that's legit. But I think Colombia for a minute there got to where if you came out of the Colombian League, people were paying a surcharge, and it was a little bit too steep there for a minute. It's gotten back to normal. Sorry, finish your.
No. Who was Anthony Martial when Manchester United bought Martial for way more than any basically no one was bidding that much for Martial, and he was a fine striker. Don't get me wrong.
He had the French element.
Well, yeah.
He's
30 now. My God,
I know.
He scored 60. He scored 63 goals, by the way, for Manchester United.
Yeah,
not bad at all.
No,
but I remember they brought him. I'm like, you don't. It must be great to be the sporting director of a club, not in England, and to see that email come across from a scouting department or from a director of football in an English club. Hey, I'm so and so from a club in the Premier League. We're interested in so and so, and then it's just cartoon dollar signs just all the way across.
Well, you've seen it with guys coming out of Independiente del Valle. You've seen it with other clubs. The Brazilians.
IDV is an academy, the conveyor belt.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes.
Some of their guys get overvalued, but
yes,
Jesus.
But you're going to give them a shot because of where they come from. And Colombia for a minute got into that. I think now it's kind of settled in, and some of it is Argentina has slid back a level domestically in terms of talent. Brazil has passed everybody, and it's getting close to lapping everybody at this point. But it feels like Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia, across the three leagues are probably all really similar. You get some top teams from other countries in South America, but because of those leagues, because right now, in Argentina, historically, you've had a little bit of that Celtic situation of two clubs, River and Boca. But even when they were at their best, you had a next tier that was close with the Grandes.
It was fun.
Yeah, well, you had San Lorenzo, which was right there, Independiente, Racing.
They won a Sudamericana beating a Brazilian club.
You've had the Rosario clubs with Newell's and with Rosario Central. You've had clubs close. River and Boca have kind of come back a little bit, and everybody's kind of lumped together. The Argentine League feels like anybody could win it every year. Colombia, it's a handful of clubs that could win it, but it kind of rotates between them, and these are two of them. So this should be a good one. It's very early in the season. Independiente Medellin is the better team. They're coming off of a title. They are the favorite on the road here, plus 135. Draw plus 220. Deportivo Cali plus 200. Jarrett, what are you picking?
Give me Deportivo Cali.
Okay.
Give me the upset here. Yeah, go with the home team.
A home upset is always a good pick. It's a risk, but they're at home. They're going to get a boost from that. And it's early in the season. I'm going the other way. I'm going to go with Independiente Medellin. I think they are the better team. They'll get it right, hopefully this week.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
That's fair.
John, what are you picking?
I'm going draw because because in this matchup, in the head-to-head, at Deportivo Cali, the last 4 matches have been 2 draws, and Deportivo Cali and Independiente Medellin each have 1 win. So 1, 2, and 1 either way in this. And in the last 10 in this series, Medellin has won 4. There are 4 draws, and only twice has Deportivo Cali won.
Are you moving Medellin to Argentina with your pronunciation?
Yes, I am moving them to Argentina. So
if you want to pronounce it as an Argentine, that's fine. But
so where you have Medellin attached to it, yeah, I know I flipped it. So in 8 of the 10 matchups, it's either a draw or a Medellin win. And so I'm going draw in this case because it's early in the year. They both lost their first one. And so I still think they're trying to figure themselves out when it comes to the season. I think obviously that Medellin will get it figured out by the time we get later on in the year. But early on right now, you're on the road. I don't think it's going to move the meter a whole lot. And so I'm going to go with a draw on this one.
All right.
I don't know if that also applies So my daughter's old Spanish teacher was from Venezuela and also did the double L's as a ZH.
It can.
And I was like, I think it might be regional there, but a very specific regional thing.
It's not like Argentina and Uruguay, and that's why I was joking with you, Jarrett, or with John, where it was like it's kind of global in Argentina and Uruguay that it said that way. In Colombia and Venezuela, it depends on where you are. I've heard Medellin both ways, but I don't know in Medellin which way.
Right.
As far as I know, it's Medellin, but it might be depending on who you talk to. It feels a little more like how things get pronounced in Atlanta versus in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to think. There is another. Millonarios obviously is one of the major teams out of Colombia. There was a rebrand, and now Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if Rob Mack is involved in this one, but I know Ryan Reynolds is involved in Inter de Bogota, which is a rebrand. They were, God, what were they before? I can't remember what they were before. You'll find it in a minute, John, because I'm sure you're already looking. They've rebranded. It feels very rebranded when you see the logo. It's a good logo, but it feels very modern and very different. It's gold and black and yada, yada, yada. But yes.
La Equidad.
La Equidad. That's who they were before, yes. I don't know the full story on the ownership, but I know Ryan Reynolds is involved in it because they did something with him on social media with the Inter de Bogota.
It's Tylis Porter without Tylis and Club Necaxa exec Sam Porter. Minority investors, Eva Longoria, Ryan Reynolds, Rob Mack, Justin Verlander, Kate Upton.
So it's that group that's in Necaxa. It's not the Wrexham group doesn't have all of those folks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, it's more the Necaxa group.
The Necaxa group. Okay, got it. Interesting. Santa Fe is another one to keep an eye on, but Inter de Bogota is a story to look at. They did lose 3-0 in the opening week to America de Cali, the other big team in Cali. So anyway, also, if you want to go look at crazy highlights, watch Rene Hickey to take free kicks. That randomly popped up on my TikTok algorithm, and I was thoroughly entertained by it. Sunday, let's go to Italy first. Roma and Milan. Roma plus 160 at home, draw plus 200, Milan plus 190. Roma plays in Europe in the midweek. Milan does not. Keep that in mind. Milan are second in the table, Roma fourth. Huge game right here. Roma, founded in 1927, backed by the city government to form a team that could compete with northern Italian powerhouses. 3 teams in the city merged to form Roma. Deep red and gold, the club's colors, chosen to reflect the official colors of the city of Rome itself. The she-wolf crest references Romulus and Remus. I mean, you've got all kinds of old school stuff here with Roma. Won their first Serie A title in 1942. Daniele De Rossi, Francesco Totti. You want to go down another rabbit hole, watch some Francesco Totti highlights. Amazing. Milan, you can watch a whole bunch of guys' highlights. Watch Ricky Kaká at Milan. Founded in 1899 by English expats. We've talked about this before. The red and black stripes were chosen to represent the devil's colors. Just awesome. Mentioned Kaká, Shevchenko, Zlatan, Paolo Maldini, Franco Baresi, Marco van Basten, all of the Dutch guys they had for a minute there. Gianni Rivera. So many legends at Milan. Who are you picking, John?
Let's see. I don't know if I can. No, I'm going to go draw here because 7 of the 10. Milan has won 4, and you've had 3 draws, and Roma's won 3. So I mean, this is about as even to me across the board as you can get. So
you can talk yourself into a draw no matter what.
I can. And let's see, in the last 4 matchups in this one, Roma has won twice, Milan has won once, and you have a draw. So, I mean, I'll go 6 of 10. I'll go draw.
I'm going Milan because they don't play in the midweek. I think that's going to really help them as they get deeper in this title run.
Same reason.
Milan wins on the road in Rome. That is my pick. That's Jarrett's pick. Let's finish things out in Guatemala. I don't know if we've picked a game in Guatemala before.
We have.
Huh?
Well, now we have.
Yeah, we definitely have now. I think probably we had, but maybe not. We've definitely not picked at least one of these teams. Mictlan is hosting Deportivo Guastatoya. Guastatoya has played in CONCACAF competitions before.
They have, yes.
Mictlan has not. This is the opening week of the Liga Guatemalteca Clausura. They both play in the midweek. So this is going to be game 2 for them, but it's on Sunday. No odds, plus 100 for Mictlan. They're the home team. Draw plus 125. Guastatoya plus 150. Bottom half Apertura finishes in the fall. Mictlan were 8th. Guastatoya were 11th. Guastatoya kind of near that relegation line. Mictlan might be one of my new favorite teams. Los Conejos, the Rabbits.
Oh, my.
And I cannot find why they're called the Rabbits. Their crest does have a rabbit, which is pretty great. And we've not pulled up a crest yet, and we're going to do that now because we need to, because it's a rabbit. I mean, come on. I've seen a few different versions of it. I am going to go with this one, and it will look like this when I click the button. Oh, I got to click another button. Mictlan. Los Conejos. It's pretty good. I'm a fan. This is a team that is also, and this is another element that makes me really like this club, and I think they're going to get favorited on SofaScore because of this. Mictlan, which you hear, it's Mictlan, derived from indigenous Mayan/Aztec cosmology, referring to the mythical underworld. Wait a minute, Undertaker, and we have Mictlan from the Mayan Aztec underworld.
Apparently, there's a different version of that crest too.
I've seen a few different ones. Like I've seen some different colors and things of that one. There is one that I really like that I'll go ahead and pull since we're doing this here. I've seen some like more fan-oriented ones where the rabbit looks more Bugs Bunny-ish, I guess, or more cartoonish.
That one feels very the one you showed, and I have no problem with it. It just feels very Puma.
A little bit. I do kind of like this one just because it's simple and it's a bunny. Los Conejos.
As someone who owns 2 bunnies,
yes.
Bunnies are matriarchal creatures, and if you have 2 female rabbits, they will beat the dog out of each other, and they fight mean and dirty.
Would they be representatives of the Mayan or Aztec underworld?
I have no idea, but 2 female rabbits will beat the snot out of each other to try and establish dominance, and they will kick each other. If you don't stop them, one of them will keep kicking until one of them stops kicking.
Jeez.
So,
Mictlan had to kick.
Female rabbits can be mean.
Mictlan had to kick a lot of people in the Guatemalan lower divisions. They got to the top flight in 2009 for the first time, and they got back to the Liga Nacional in 2025. So the Apertura was their first season back in a while. One really complicated thing when we talk Aperturas and Clausuras, depending on the country, Mexico and Central America, Aperturas in the fall, Clausuras in the spring. In Argentina, in Colombia, in South America generally, it's the calendar year. Apertura, Clausura. So Apertura first, Clausura second. Opening, closing. But the opening in Central America is in the fall as opposed to the spring. So I always have to double check each country.
Okay,
go ahead.
In Mexican mythology,
okay,
Senzon Totochichtin is known as the 400 Rabbits, a group of divine rabbits who meet for frequent drunken parties.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an Aztec connection with Mictlan, with Underworld, and with the rabbits.
It appears to be so.
Yes. Okay. Due to its connection to Mayahuel, the goddess of the maguey or agave plant and goddess of fertility, it is said in a fit of passion, Mayahuel consummated her relationship with Pitacta, god of healing and fertility and lord of the root pulque. From their consummation, Mayahuel became pregnant with Senzon Totochtin, 400 rabbits, Each of these individual rabbits or conejos had a different name and a different representation of a level of intoxication. Thus, the saying, drunk like 400 rabbits, describes.
I've never heard that saying, and I love it.
Thus, the saying, drunk like 400 rabbits, describes reaching the highest level of enlightenment, in quotation marks, as possible.
Wow.
400 rabbits, which are all gods of drunkenness.
Of varying levels and degrees.
Wow. I just thought it was kind of cool they were Los Conejos. And then the underworld thing was kind of interesting, but like, okay, cool. Drunk like 400 rabbits. I've never heard this expression.
Aztec mythology yep. So Mayahuel and Petactl, you end up with the Senson Totochtin.
400 rabbits, and they're all drunk. Wow. Okay.
Drunk like 400 rabbits. If
yeah,
you don't, if you don't use that in a game this year,
oh, it's gonna happen.
Like, there's gonna be some stupid ass. There's a mezcal by that name. Perfect. Thank you, David.
There we go. Yes, thank you, David.
If you don't use that in a game this year and then have to explain it to Mike on the air,
yeah, no, it'll happen. It will be one of the rare times that he literally like stops talking and turns and looks at me like,
what?
He's finally lost. No, it won't do that. No. Mike's too much of a professional for that. He will be like, he will turn and look at me like, what is wrong with you? What happened? Did you hit your head? What is going on? It will be amazing.
One of the most favored creatures in Aztecs for hunting. It was identified as the hunter-gatherers. Mizquatl, the god of the hunt. The rabbit is also an ancient Mesoamerican symbol for the moon.
So the moon, the underworld, drunkenness, and we're in Guatemala here with this. This is amazing.
The 400 rabbits would get together. The 400 rabbits were basically a fraternity in Athens, showing up at 10:30 for a Jefferson Pilot kickoff.
Yeah, basically.
There you go.
Yeah, they'd be the ones when like I was actually trying to get schoolwork done on a Saturday, and you'd have to be like stepping over people who had drank like 400 rabbits the night before to get to the library. That happened.
It was like my uncle had a similar situation, not identical. He got his law degree from UT Knoxville, and he hates Rocky Top to this day because as he would be in his room like studying for law school, Peyton Manning would be putting up touchdowns, and he would have his window open because it's a fall day in Knoxville, and he would just hear over and over and over. He hates the song. Yes. He's got his degree from there, but he never wants to hear it again.
Yes. I will have to check with Humberto if he has had the 400 Conejos mezcal. We'll have a conversation about this, and we'll see if it is available. I will try it. I'm not a tequila drinker at all. That's why I have not gone down the mezcal route. But if we're talking about 400 drunken rabbits, I might give it a shot just to find out.
We don't talk near like we give the Greeks and the Romans and even the Scandinavians way too much push with their mythological culture. Like the Greek marketing is outstanding. We do not talk nearly enough about the Mesoamerican and even the Egyptian, but especially in this case, the Mesoamerican stories, because the stuff I'm reading is absolutely unhinged right now. This is
400
amazing.
Drunken rabbits, and just the little bit that you guys shared, I am impressed and possibly scared, and all of the above.
And the goddess Mayahuel fed these 400 rabbits. She breastfed the 400 rabbits.
Whoa!
Well, that's where you draw the line, John?
Well, I mean, we had it with Romulus and Remus, and now we're having another country where we're having...
What is it with picks of the week this time? On Sunday, by the way. Both games on Sunday.
Hey!
I mean, this is madness.
Of all the days that are holy, you're having back-to-back games. And
it wasn't milk either. It was she produced pulque and fermented agave.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it right, I guess. They're drunk rabbits.
You want to get drunk like 400 rabbits, brother. It's got to be agave and other stuff. It can't be the basics.
Geez. All right, I'm going to have to talk to Humberto about the 400 rabbits. Before we there is another team playing in this game. Deportivo Guastatoya, El Pecho Amarillo, the yellow chest.
Oh, yeah.
They wear yellow, basically.
Good on.
That's not nearly as much fun.
No, it's not. Like, they kind of came out of nowhere. They were founded in 1990 in Guastatoya, which is outside of Guatemala City. They they were really good in like the late 2010s, early 2020s. That's when we'd see them pop up in CONCACAF occasionally. They won a couple of Liga Nacional championships, but they've kind of slid backwards here. I'm picking the 400 Rabbits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drunken 400 Rabbits.
Absolutely.
Legally obligated to.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we are. Yes.
Yeah, you just have to. I am one of 1,300 people who are now following them on SofaScore.
Awesome.
So I get score updates of like some of the most random teams now, because of picks of the week.
Well, and the game that we were watching on Teise, the Copa.
Yes.
We found out. I found out that the club Atlético Ituzaingó.
Yeah,
Ituzaingó. They are nicknamed León del Oeste, and
Lion of the West.
And they are a 113-year-old club, and they play at the Estadio Carlos Sacan.
Okay, who's he?
He is a media-savvy baker of the 1980s, and his
Wait a minute. A media-savvy baker?
Quoting Zonales, this is
like
where I was looking at this.
Those are three words that I've never heard together.
His name was chosen for the Ituzaingó Stadium. Carlos Alberto Sacan rose to prominence after appearing in an advertisement.
Okay.
He was a constant supporter of the club, which recently celebrated their 60th anniversary back in 2020-2021.
Okay.
Their debut in the AFA, and even served as president of the football committee.
Okay.
So they proudly display their own story that sets them apart. Their stadium, a few blocks from the Sarmiento Railway tracks, bears the name of Carlos Alberto Sacan. He became famous through an advertisement and chosen to designate the pitch where the Green Lion, the owners of the West, as it reads on one of the walls, plays their home matches. He became famous as the star of a TV commercial in 1985. It promoted the quality of his baked goods. Today, it would surely be questioned whether such a message excessively encourages the consumption of carbohydrates and unhealthy fats.
Well,
white trucks with the slogan "Sacan, the good bread" in blue and red letters can still be seen on some streets in the city and province of Buenos Aires.
So he's like the Wonder Bread dude.
Yeah. So
Argentina.
he's like the Wonder Bread dude of Buenos Aires.
Okay.
And so because of his support, he participated, up, in the front office, and he managed to keep them in the second tier with all of his help and all this kind of stuff. And so they debuted in tournaments 6 decades ago in the late 70s. Planks from the dismantled San Lorenzo Gasometro Stadium were used to expand the capacity of the Ituzaingó Stadium.
Yeah, the original Gasometro was torn down.
My God,
I want to say there was a fire. What did you learn more about 400 Rabbits, Jared?
No, I was trying to find more social stuff, but there's 2 accounts that claim they're official, but neither one have tweeted since 2015.
I love Midland so much. That's my team. I need jerseys. I want the Rabbits. I'm supporting the Rabbits.
This is gonna be like when you were explaining that you follow Defensa y Justicia,
and people are like, what?
And like people were looking at you like, we need to get this man quartered off.
Hernan Crespo was looking at me like that.
Crespo's
he's like, you watched, like you know what I did there. Oh my God.
Crespo's talking to the people like, hey, this guy knows about DEJ.
He did. That's literally what happened. It was crazy. Blew his mind. Like, this crazy gringo.
So you have the dude that created he's the Wonder Bread dude of Buenos Aires. And so he was the head of the football commission, promoted a management approach to the sport, never stopped going to see the team play late in his life. And so they had a vote back in December of 2012 to name the field. 43% of the participants decided Carlos Alberto Sacan was the most fitting and appropriate name. So his name has been at the Estadio Club Atlético Ituzaingó ever since.
Okay.
So that was who we were watching lose 4-0 to Estudiantes and Lorenzo and LGP earlier this evening.
Nice. I am very, I think, sad to report that our other Guatemalan team that we became big fans of that had the cracked out Jaguar as a mascot, they have rebranded. I think it looks like they are just now FC Santa Lucia. I think they've changed their crest. But they are not in the top flight anymore, I don't think.
What you're describing is cowardice, but okay.
Are they still in the top flight? Now I'm intrigued.
That's what happens.
Okay, so Apparently, Mictlan is the Aztec underworld. Most people who die would travel to Mictlan, though other possibilities exist. Consists of 9 distinct levels. The journey from the first level to the 9th is difficult and takes 4 years.
The 9 levels of Mictlan.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes, our cracked out Jaguar finished behind Mictlan in the Primera División when Mictlan got promoted. Like way behind them. They're in 8th.
And
They were only ahead of 2 teams that lost every game, and one of them did not finish all of their games I think they were supposed to play. They only played 9 of 17. The other one played 10. So that's not good.
In that 4-year journey, you will be aided by Solotl, who is the god of fire and lightning. He is commonly depicted as a dog-headed man.
A dog-headed man.
I imagine
and he will aid you in that 4-year journey.
Oh,
through the 9 levels of hell.
Sorry, David is absolutely right. The next Around the Corner lager by Nofo will need to be finished in 400 rabbits mezcal barrels. Yes.
Yes. The dead must pass many challenges in Mictlan, such as crossing a mountain range where the mountains crash into each other.
The mountains crash into each other.
It's like MXC.
No, it gets worse. A field where the wind blows fresh scraping knives.
Whoa,
that's not good.
And a river of blood with fearsome jaguars and snakes.
That's not good. Wow.
This is like Wipeout on crack.
The lack of respect that we're giving to the Aztec mythologies is absolutely insulting as a society, and we really need to rethink what we're doing. I could give 2 shits about Zeus. I want this.
Zeus is not as entertaining as 400 drunken rabbits.
Hades is a little bitch compared to this.
And a 9-year journey through hell that includes
9 years.
The wind-blown knives.
Fight a blood river with snakes and jaguars, and you're escorted by a god of fire and lightning with a dog's head.
I love this so much.
Don't mess with the Aztecs, brother. That's all I can say.
400 rabbits. I hope they win. We do have a prop bet. How many goals will be scored in the 18 Champions League games this week?
Okay.
44.
Okay, so you said 44. I said 48.
63.
Oh.
And Jarrett was 63.
Why is John doing the math?
No, I'm repeating what you're saying.
He's writing it down.
That's not okay.
No, he actually does okay there. Occasionally, I can't read his handwriting, and I have to look for context clues.
John can read it, and that's what matters.
No, because I have to read it because I have to put it into the board. But I don't like to actually write while I'm hosting because I want to focus on 400 rabbits and all the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there's only been a couple times that I'm like, what did he write here? What is this?
Yeah, and then I scan it and ship it to him as a PDF.
Hold on, this guy who is speaking on Te'ise has a name tattooed onto the side of his head. There's letters on the side of his head. He's got a fade, and there's letters.
He needs to turn to his left.
That's got to be a tattoo. That's not written on there. I don't think
that's got to be a tattoo.
I would assume. Wow, that's commitment. Okay, sorry.
Mictlan also has a creation myth.
Oh, geez.
Mictlantecuhtli set a pit trap to trap Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah,
I know that one.
One of the Aztec deities.
Mm-hmm.
When Quetzalcoatl entered seeking bones with which to create humans, there was a trap waiting.
Well, yeah, got to do that.
Quetzalcoatl fell into a pit. At some point, he fell into a pit. Some of the bones broke. Aztecs believe this is why people of height are different.
Oh,
okay.
So you found the larger bones, Jarrett, basically is what you're saying.
Well, he found the unbroken.
The bones found me.
You found the ones that were not as broken.
Right. Yeah. His bones are pure in Aztec mythology. The rest of us that are not Jarrett's height are less pure.
I guess. Yeah. So that's picks of the week. Wow. I did not see any of that coming. I love this game so much. See, this is so much better than ranting and raving about we should get credit because we made that guy mad and then he went out and played good. Woo!
But yeah, we want all the credit when he
want the credit. I don't know why I just did an Alabama voice for Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, but anyway, it happened.
Because it's just incredible.
So not all the dead people go there. If warriors die in battle, they go They go east and accompany the sun during the morning. Women who die in childbirth go west and accompany the sun during the evening. And uniquely enough, people who die from drowning get to go to a different place.
One. Okay.
That's a very specific way to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, this is amazing. I've got my job for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, yes. I'm intrigued. We do have to always check in on two of our favorites. Nicholas Bentner, Give Me Sport, which is a pretty large outlet, has a headline: former Arsenal striker Nicholas Bentner now lives a very different life after leaving football. This was published a few days ago.
Oh, wow.
He owns his own gaming company, which we've known for quite a while. According to Esports Insider, he started playing Counter-Strike during the COVID lockdown, and he formed his own group there. Yada, yada, yada. They added a professional footballer and retired Copenhagen star Peter Ankersen to their ownership team, so it's growing. Bentner and Ankersen and Counter-Strike. And then it kind of recaps a lot of stuff we already know, and that's about it. So what now, Jarrett? What?
Share. No, I'm just there. There was like, if you want more information, click here. I did not click there because I need a minute.
Wow. Okay. We do have to check in because this is actually kind of important in the January window right now on Mauro Icardi.
Yes.
Because he could end up places. He's been linked to every club but Midtjylland.
Don't look. If he goes there, then
he's gonna end up going to the real Midtjylland. 9 years.
Well, that's a whole nother topic.
Yes.
So this is from last week after we did not have a show last Monday. This happened on Tuesday. Galatasaray played. I hate Turkish websites.
Kayserispor.
Hold on. I had a whole bunch of things pop up at once, which is not good. I'm glad I have good protection. Galatasaray played Fethiyaspor, the third division team in the Turkish Cup. He stepped up to take a penalty in the 35th minute. Mauro Icardi, it was saved. The VAR review, goalkeeper came off the line. 36 minutes, taken again, saved again.
I think
Mauro
I
Icardi,
video of this.
He had 2 penalties saved. And he responded with class. He congratulated the goalkeeper with a handshake. They won, so it wasn't anything to worry about. But yes, good job, Mauro Icardi, for being nice for once. No new rumors that I know of with Mauro Icardi going to places. It's like quieted down. He's out of contract in the summer. Wow. Be careful about what you type Mauro Icardi and then what other words in X, because that's interesting.
Your filters on.
Yeah, it's definitely not safe for work. Probably if you click the wrong thing. I don't see any other interesting rumors lately.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, it's really because he's playing well. Like he's healthy again. He's playing, except for having penalty saved, but that happens to everybody. He's playing well. He's scoring goals. He's out of contract. He's still he's got years in him. Like he's gonna be an interesting possibility here in this January window. If somebody wants to get him in now, they're gonna have to pay a little bit because it doesn't seem like he's gonna get a new deal. So I don't know. It's gone quiet and it's kind of weird. I'm intrigued. But man, when you get into some of these things with Wanda Nara and Chena Suarez, and yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff with Mauro Icardi, and that might be why it is quiet. But
yeah,
yes, he's doing the business. He's scoring goals.
Okay,
he is. No, he is. Like that's not made up.
He is.
Like he's really playing well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where he ends up. Maybe he goes to one of the Italian clubs again.
It was the Besiktas match back on the 15th?
No, they were playing a third division team in the Turkish Cup, John.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the Turkish Cup.
That was not Besiktas because they're not a third division team.
Fenerbahce?
No, a third division team, John.
Sorry, I'm looking at
Fenerbahce. If Fenerbahce ended up in the third division,
that would be
the
wildest thing. Yes, I said it a second ago. Fethiyaspor or something like that.
Yeah, Fethius. Yeah, okay, got it. Okay.
Yes,
got it.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I was
just pretending like we all know that's a real word. But okay.
I mean, We just went through 400 drunken rabbits, Jared. Anything can happen on this show.
And a 9-year.
Oh, brother, I found a detailed thing that explained what all the levels of the underworld were. I just decided not to.
Was it a little bit too much?
It's not that. So the first stage was crossing a dangerous river where the souls need a dog as a guide.
Yeah.
Next is a hill. Next is a hill of obsidian knives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever felt obsidian is ungodly sharp.
Okay.
It's just very brittle. Sharp and treacherous paths. Souls then encounter strong winds and icy mountains that are made the journey even harder. The dead also pass through a place where arrows fly endlessly. Other stages included walking through a land of jaguars and enduring intense cold and darkness. Finally, the souls reach a place where the heart would be removed. Once all the challenges were overcome, they arrived at a final destination and they found rest.
Well, I would imagine when you're rested that the Aztecs sit there and go, yeah, your heart's done. Okay, we're going to take it. So that sounds about par.
Jeez. Mictlan, a new favorite of SDH. We'll see if we can carry them all the way to a Guatemalan League championship. We've done it before.
We have done it before. We have given the SDH bump before, and it has worked. The thing is, if you show up somewhere, like show up in the summer during the World Cup with a Mictlan jersey on, like 99.9% of the people are just going to be like, I don't know what that is. That's kind of cool. That 0.1% of people who know what it is, you're going to have a friend for life. Or an enemy for life if they're a rival.
Yeah, like if somebody's a Guastatoya fan and they sit there and they see your Mictlan jersey.
But the odds are you're going to find someone who's going to be like, how do you know about this? What's wrong with you? Come meet my friends. I have to show you off like some relic.
Ain't nothing wrong with you.
Jarrett, look at that rabbit.
I don't want to. I'm upset.
Look at that rabbit. I wish there was a better picture. But oh my God. That's from the same league with the cracked out Jaguar.
So the cracked out Jaguar and the Aztec rabbit.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
How old is that photo?
That's a rabbit that just went through the 9 stages of hell.
Yes. Oh my God.
4 years.
Somebody took Bugs Bunny's face and went like
they've had a bunch of different rabbit mascots, it appears. Some more like Bugs Bunny-ish than others. Some more like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man than others. Like the one I'm looking at now looks more like a rabbit version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But that rabbit in the picture that I shared, wow. That is an amazing mascot. That was from 2021.
4 years ago. Wow.
I will pay them money for that costume.
Like that rabbit head is the greatest thing I have ever seen.
I found a new one for you. Give me a minute.
Oh boy.
Hold on.
Oh boy.
Give me 1 second. Sending it to you.
Okay. I'm excited.
It's the same one. It's just better picture.
Okay. Drunken rabbits. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. Oh, wow.
Okay. It's like the Toxic Avenger was a rabbit.
Yes.
Hey, you guys.
This team is amazing.
Okay. Well, I'm following them now on the Facebook.
They are wonderful. Look at that rabbit.
Oh, that's
that is a psychotic drunken rabbit.
Especially with the human fingertips.
I mean, that's the least of its chaoticness.
I mean, it looks like it had like 19 Red Bulls and decided to try.
Well, that rabbit has done hard drugs.
Yeah, that rabbit. Yeah, that's. I mean, look, the ears are going the same direction. Both ears are going the same direction on that rabbit.
That rabbit has seen some things.
Yes.
The rabbit has done some things. He's guilty. That rabbit is guilty of multiple crimes.
Yes.
My God.
So let's see. We now I now follow them in Facebook. They have over 32,000 followers on Facebook, by the way.
Wow.
12 hours ago, they posted to their next match. Our team starts this new challenge visiting Municipal on the first day, ready to leave everything from the first minute and compete with character and heart. To our fans, your support is our greatest motivation. Wherever the team plays, there will be encouragement pushing us to go for more.
I
There's
just followed them
another
too.
one, but
They're
this
going to be
is-
so confused by these follows they're getting from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
This
I love
the
it.
one
Fine,
I just
same
sent you is
here.
way too warm and fuzzy. Like this is like a cartoon, like a cute cartoon rabbit.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that one's not quite as cool. That was a change. I don't like the change.
Yeah.
I want the psychotic bunny back.
That's very Happy Tree Friends. In
Yeah.
its own kind of unhinged way. For those of you that were on the internet in 2004.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is.
I want like the psycho bunny. That bunny needs to come back.
How
That
much do I have
bunny.
to pay to get that mascot in my possession?
I mean, I want to see the psychotic 4 years ago Mictlan mascot fight evil Scrappy in a death match. Like, I need to see this. That would be wonderful. Why did they get rid of the psychotic bunny? Why did they get rid of evil Scrappy? These things should have continued.
And
Mictlan is glorious.
it looks like they have acquired, as a newly promoted side, Robin Betancourt, 34-year-old Guatemalan, who apparently is something akin to a Guatemalan legend.
Wait, what? Okay.
And he is like he's one of their new players with them being newly promoted, and so he's one of their forwards.
Okay, I'm really confused. And maybe there's a story to it, but on their Facebook, in their pictures from September of 2025, they thank businessman Carlos Guzman from Miteco for the donation of a young bull to the Atletico Mictlan club. Literally a bull.
I mean,
It's a picture of the bull, and I was like, why is this picture here in all these like team pictures and stuff? Like, what is happening? Is there a joke that I don't know? I think there's a joke, but still, I love this club so much.
I mean, look, some folks just want to donate farm animals instead of like money and jerseys.
I think it's a joke, John. I think it's probably a joke, an insider joke in Guatemala. That
I
has
just
nothing
hope
to do
Jackie
with that.
Cheryl has nothing to do with Mictlan. That's all I want.
Yeah, no, don't even bring that up. The 400 drunken rabbits, John.
I mean,
Jackie Sherrill's got nothing on 400 drunken rabbits. Don't even try to equate it.
Kick his ass.
Don't even try to equate that in the same level. 400 drunken rabbits and a cracked out rabbit mascot.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this club so much.
It looks like Betancourt is a man not to be messed with under any circumstance. And twice on Tuesday.
No. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Mictlan is a new. What, Jared? Don't.
I'm looking at their roster. They got like a guy on their roster who played 234 matches for Comunicaciones.
Okay.
Like they got like a Guatemalan legend down there.
Hey, look at them go, Mictlan.
Mm-hmm.
They've come up from the smaller leagues.
Who played at Heredia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Betancourt. Yeah, he's the new pickup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
Amazing.
Junior Navas from Guatemala. I'm trying to see if there's any of the national team guys that we would know.
I don't think they're quite at that level. They probably get those guys at the end.
Yeah, they're getting guys at the end of their career.
Oh yeah. So you were looking at Kendall Horarte, who's played 234 matches when he started his first team career with Comunicaciones. Okay.
I was fully expecting to find some like unhinged name that we would have seen in like Sudamericana at some point in the past. Like,
I mean,
Maxi Mesa is going to show up down there for some reason.
Oh, Maxi Mesa.
I mean, you look at Kendall Horarte, and there are three seasons where he has no stats. I mean,
well, depending on where he's playing, that league might not actually believe in statistics.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But it looks like Coatepec. Oh boy.
Okay, there must be like a recurring joke of them beating somebody and a bull or a heifer being donated to the club because there's another one. from 2024. This club is so wonderful. We need to bring Mictlan to Atlanta.
Yes.
There's a club in Valencia called CF Cracks.
Well, yeah, cracks is like a good thing. If you're a crack, you're a
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I just didn't know somebody in Valencia had created a club called Cracks that was just someone hastily pasting a soccer ball and 2 cleats into their logo. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's not as good as posting 2 ears of corn, but you know.
And
Look, you can only fly so close to the sun.
Cockamega homeboys.
Yeah, they only have 1,028 followers on Instagram, so we're boosting that number.
Oh, I gotta find.
Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, we're doing that right now.
Atletico,
they're gonna be so confused.
Atletico Mictlan _oficial.
Okay.
I think it'd be Mictlan Deportivo.
Página oficial del equipo Conejo.
Yeah, see it.
It's rather erudite.
Atletico Mictlan _oficial.
Oficial, yes.
Yeah, okay. It looks legit. It might not be, but who knows?
Oficial de equipo de Conejo. Officially team rabbit page.
Yes, the rabbit team. Official page of the rabbit team.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Equipo Conejo. That's my team. That's my team.
This is fantastic.
This is what happens on soccer over there.
They're gonna what the hell is happening in the United States?
Yeah.
It's called SDH bump, yo.
Yeah. If no cocaine bear, no cocaine bunnies. Yes. If you're still listening, I'm sorry. And what's wrong with you?
I'm not.
And hi. Like that's all I got. This is what happens on soccer over there. It's what happens on Picks of the Week. We rant, we rave, we find drunken bunnies, 400 of them. And we follow Guatemalan teams that are new to the top flight. This is what happens. It's great. We'll be back next week to do more of this. I don't know if we can top this one, but we'll try. We'll see what we can do. We'll see who wins Picks of the Week. We could. That's probably not healthy, but I
ran out of rum and Coke a while ago. So.
I ran out of Fernet and Coke as well. So it's time for a refill, which means it's time to go. SDH AM tomorrow. What you got, John?
Maddie Cruz is going to come on. She's going to talk about Atlanta United through what's left of her sinuses. And we had Daniel Sperry from the Kansas City Star on this morning to talk about everything current and sporting. And now that there's been a sale officially of Sporting Kansas City, he's going to come back with a cameo with probably his daughter in tow. And he's going to talk about the sale and what it means.
That will be at 9:05 on the YouTube, on the Twitch, on the X, and on the podcast feed afterwards as well. Make sure you're on soccerdownhere.net. Some features have been posted over the weekend. Make sure you're following us on the TikToks, on the Instagrams, on all the places. That's what we do on the SDH. And we'll be back tomorrow with all kinds of stuff. Morning espresso early, and then SDH AM. Y'all have a good evening. Adios, everybody.